Hey guys, thank you so much for coming on. This is vlog day number 64 and today I'm just gonna talk to you guys about something. I am on social media a lot and a lot of people keep asking me about, how did I get to Japan? They're expressing their desires as well as to how they want to come to Japan one day. I'm going to talk about three different categories, three different ways to come to Japan. One is as a visitor to visit temporarily, also to work for an extended period of time, or to come as a student as well. So there are usually a few things that initially prevents people from making the move, right? Or the visit. And it is, okay, what is it like? The culture, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'll be able to, assimilate within the society. It's so different, etc. I'm living here, I'm a black person, and my experience so far has been largely positive, and it has been that way for a lot of people as well. What I'm saying is it's not some terrifying place where you would be like, oh my gosh, I do not want to come here. So get that out of your mind. Come. The next thing is money. People are saying it's very expensive. Look, honestly, anything that you want to do really in this life, you got to pay for it. So if you want to, especially when it comes down to travel, but there are ways that you can save money while you travel, and there's ways that you can spend more money than you need to. So for instance, the plane ticket, sometimes you can't avoid paying the price. You might be lucky to get a great deal. If you can, grab that deal. If not, you might have to save up and just look at that as the most expensive part of your trip. Apart from that as well, there's another way. You can fly from your country to another country and then from that country to Japan. If that is cheaper, do it. Or you might be able to fly from your country to another part in Japan that is not your destination within Japan, and then from that place you can take a train to your destination. That might be cheap as well. You gotta think outside of the box. So now let's talk about accommodation. You don't have to go to the most expensive hotel. You can go to a capsule hotel. Some of you guys already know what capsule hotels are. They're usually very cheap. It's compartmentalized, so you have like a bed, there's a little small TV, there's like a blind curtain that you pull as well. It's fairly decent. It fits one person. You can check it out. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, so you can actually see what the experience is like. It's not bad, and the price is right. They can go for as cheap as 20 something US dollars per night up to maybe even 80 bucks. But I think you should get somewhere that's in the middle. Maybe like $40 a night is good, especially if you're staying for 7 days or even up to 2 weeks. That's not a bad price to pay at all. And they're also located in the hot spots in Tokyo, so Shibuya, Shinjuku, etc. And also as well, Airbnb, they have some really good deals. Some places might be very expensive on Airbnb, yes, but you can go through and find somewhere that's within your budget. So you don't have to spend a lot on accommodation. Flight might not be, you might not have much flexibility when it comes down to your plane ticket price, but when it comes down to accommodation, you have a lot of choices. So don't go big, go economical. Now, when it comes down to transportation, you have to take the train, or unless you just want to walk down the street. I live here, I take the train almost every day. So now because of that, it does add up. If you're gonna be here as a visitor, I would advise you to get the JR Rail Pass, because if you're visiting, it means you wanna see a lot of places. So by getting the JR Rail Pass, you'll be able to travel through Japan by rail at a very reasonable price, versus if you were just like paying for each ride individually. Trust me, you do not want to do that. So check it out. The website is japanrailpass.net. Check it out. I'll leave all the links that I speak about in the description down below. So now we've covered flight, accommodation, and transportation. Food is the next big thing on the list. Listen, the food here is really cheap. There are places that are very expensive. Yes, like in any other country, you got restaurants that are very expensive, but you also got the cheap restaurants as well that you can go to. You got places where you can get beef bowls like Yoshinoya, Matsuya. You got places like that. You also got places like Otoya. So there are places, even IKEA. Y'all can go to IKEA and get some pretty cheap food. So this is what I'm saying. If you're like, I just want to get there to experience this country, you don't have to look for the most luxurious experience. You can get here on a budget. That's what I'm trying to say to you right now. As I said, get the flight. If it's the most expensive part, no problem, save for it. Get the accommodation. You can get really cheap places to stay. Get it. JR Rail Pass, save for it. When it comes on to food, really cheap places that you can get food. If you're thinking about buying clothes, the only problem you might have if you're a person that's large is your size, but there are places that you can still go to get your size. There are places like Uniqlo, places like GU that sells things at a reasonable price, so you don't have to spend a lot of money on clothes. Of course, there are a lot of places in Japan where they have a lot of name brand stuff that are expensive, but again, if you want to buy stuff that are unique from Japan, you can still get them in Japan at a good price as well. Souvenir shops, all these places, trust me, you can come here and you can spend not that much money and get some stuff to take back to your country as souvenirs and to be like, hey, I got this from Japan. When it comes to spending money, it really depends on what you want to experience. There are a lot of places too that you can go to experience Japan that are free. A lot of beautiful parks. You don't have to pay to go into most of the parks. There are some parks that you gotta pay to go into, but it's maybe like $2 or $3. For the vast majority, it's free. Museums as well that are free to go into. You gotta pay for some, but there are free ones that are really good as well. You got art galleries that are free that you can go into. You got all the temples and shrines. You don't have to pay to visit them. They're beautiful. You can check that out as well. So there are a lot of stuff that you can do for free in Japan, and then there's stuff that you got to pay for. And some of them are not that expensive, like the Trick Art Museum was amazing for me. There's another thing that you can pay for, like it's the go-kart tour throughout the Tokyo streets, which was immensely fun. You can get it from like $60, $80. That might be something that you might want to budget for if you're like, okay, this one experience that is so cool, I want to do it. I'll fork out the $60 or the $80 to do it. You can check that out as well. So the website is mariocart.com. I'll put it in the description down below if you want to experience that. This is what I'm trying to say, because I know that you guys may know almost everything that I'm talking about already. What I'm trying to say is that where there's a will, there's a way. So it's not like this thing that seems insurmountable. That's what I'm trying to get at. But if you just want to come to visit, look into the things that I spoke about. And another way is, as a student, if you're in university, right, or if you're a student and you want to come here, then you can come on a vacation. You might not have the money because you're a student, so you might want to try to look into potential exchange programs for students, like 1-year programs. I've met a guy that was doing architecture from the States and he came here for 1 year. You guys can do this as well. Check with your university, see if there's a way that you can do an exchange program to Japan. Why not? It doesn't hurt to try. I would advise you to do that. And another way for a long-term stay in Japan is to work. And you guys already know that I'm going to talk about English teaching. Some people are like, well, I don't want to be an English teacher. If you have a bachelor's degree, then you qualify for most of the English teaching jobs here, or all of the English teaching jobs here, because that's usually the lowest qualification that they will accept. So what I'm saying is this: if you want to come here for a long period of time, maybe 1 year, to experience what it's like to work and live in Japan, then that is a way to do it. Even if it's not like something that you're like, oh my gosh, like it's my first choice. Trust me, I've heard of people who have had really, really wonderful experiences on English teaching programs. Some maybe not so much, but I've heard a lot more positive stories than negative stories. So if you really want to come here and you have that degree, why not? One of the very best programs I've heard about is the JET program, and you can check it out at jetprogramme.org. I'm gonna put the link in the description down below so you can check it out. The deadline is usually in November. We're in October now, so you got a little bit of time to check the eligibility requirements and apply. You might get lucky, who knows? You'll know next year, and then who knows, I might be able to see you in Japan in 2018. So what I'm saying is that is one way that you can get it done. So there are ways to get it done, guys. Point of this video is not to necessarily provide you with new information, but it is to inspire you guys, to motivate you guys that it is possible. My dream to come to Japan started like way back, like over 10 years ago, right? I was fascinated by anime, like a lot of people here are, and that's what piqued my interest. And then my journey to Japan started back then, and now I'm living here, and so far it's been a wonderful experience. So guys, listen, if you're watching this is not me trying to say whatever, like some crazy stuff. This is just me just telling you guys that it's possible. Like where there is a will, there is a way. And there are ways to get here if you really want to move here. Whether you're a student, whether you're a person that has a degree or not, you can come as a visitor, you can come as an employee, you can come, you know, as a student. You can even apply to come here as a student at a Japanese university. So if you guys want to see more videos like this where I talk about stuff in Japan, please let me know. If you have questions, tweet tweet at me at Ranzo in Japan, or just leave it in the comment section down below. I'll try my best to answer it. And some people might also want to know, like, what is it like to be black in Japan? I leave the link to a documentary that I did in the description down below as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. For more daily videos from Tokyo, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. I'll see you tomorrow. Kiyosuke!